6'4" forward, number 11, Chris Jones. And 6'2" guard, number 15, Daniel Jacob. Nazareth is coached by Kevin Broderick.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second annual Mauro Panaggio Invitational. Here are your starting lineups.
6-foot guard, number 5, Mark Lamondola. 6'3" guard, number 14, Devin Kearns. 6'5" forward, number 34, Roy McMillan. And 6'8" forward, number 42, Curtis Mitchell. Washington Lee is coached by Chris McHugh.
Good afternoon. I'm Michael Panaggio, and we are here at Daytona Beach at the DME Sports Academy
Fans, if you are hungry or thirsty,
second annual
sessions open up in the Panaggio Cafe. Hot dogs,
second
nachos,
annual
snacks of all sorts.
Mauro Panaggio Invitational. I'm here with Dan Mondragon, and here's the first game of the doubleheader today with Nazareth College and Washington Lee out of Washington, D.C. Both teams are 2 games above 500 coming into the year, right into this tournament. 4-2 for Nazareth and 5-3 for Washington and Lee.
A quick correction there, Mike. Washington Lee is actually from Lexington, Virginia. Nazareth College Helms from New York.
Oh, sorry about that. Washington Lee gets the tip. This Washington Lee team is led by Jake Bergio, who's averaging a double-double with 20 points and 10.5 rebounds so far on the year.
Yeah, Jake, it'll be an interesting matchup to see Jake Bergio and the brother Stangling, who averages 16.5 points per game, see how they can impose their will on the perimeter here.
Curtis Mitchell missed, but the clean up there on the other end by Devin Kearns to get Washington Lee on the board first. Pass deflected out of bounds. The ball will stay here with Washington and Lee.
Good intensity here to start the first half by both teams.
Kearns. Nice dump off. And the finish good by Curtis Mitchell. His first bucket of the game, and a nice pass there by Kearns. And 4-0 here, Washington Lee. Contact there, but no call. And in transition the other way, there's contact there, and there's no call. Ref's letting them play.
Yeah, look, both of those plays look like there was a little bit of contact. And Nazareth College takes advantage with the 3-ball there.
Daniel Jacob, the senior from Pittsburgh, New York, hits the 3. Coach McHugh was not too happy about the no call there.
Yeah, that was, we can say they missed one there.
So 6-3 early on, Washington Lee coming out the gate strong. And a quick timeout by Kevin Broderick, who's in his 9th season at Nazareth, his 22nd overall as a head coach at the Division III level.
Yeah, and Coach Broderick, actually an alumni of Nazareth College, was named the coach in 2009, and they've won 2 conference titles in his realm here at Nazareth College.
On the other side, you got Chris McHugh, who's just in his 2nd season at Washington and Lee, trying to make his stamp and imprint on that program.
Yeah, he's off to a good start in his first year. They won 17 games and was the most wins that Washington and Lee has had since 2009. So he's doing a great job with that program.
Pull-up jumper by Tyler Stenglins was no good, and the other way, here comes Washington looking to build on their three-point lead. McMillan. 10 on the clock, skips it out to Curtis Mitchell. Been very aggressive here early on. He finds McMillan on a nice back cut.
Great pass by the big fella there. You can see Washington Lee's trying to establish their size inside, and he did a great job not only posting up but getting out on the perimeter and making a play for his team.
First substitution of the game is Stephen Gable. And he'll check in for Jake Bergio, who's from Brockport, New York, and Brockport will be playing in the second game here. 1 of 2 from the line goes McMillan. A nice dump off by Gable. There's contact there.
Beautiful play there. Nice footwork up and under, draws the help side, and nice little dump off for an easy layup, and they get the foul.
Chris Jones will go to the line, shooting 2. The 6'4" senior from Fulton, New York. The whole roster of this Nazareth team comes from New York.
It's nice for these northeastern teams to get down here in Florida. A little change of weather for what's turning out in its second year to be a great event. A lot of these teams have traveled well. A lot of fans here in the crowd, and a good opportunity for them to spend some time here in the Sunshine State and play some good basketball.
Chris Jones makes both. And number 4, William Brueggemann, gets called for steps there.
Brueggemann, the 3rd leading scorer for Washington and Lee at 13.6 points per game.
Nazareth goes inside to Stephen Gable. His left-hand jump hook's no good. Ball's batted around, and there's a jump ball, and McMillan and, no, that's not McMillan. That is Mark Crawford, who's checked in the game for Washington and Lee. It's tied up with Gable there. Rebound to Brueggemann. He'll throw it ahead and get it right back. Knife through the defense and a nice finish off the glass. William Brueggemann.
And a great first step, and he's come out really aggressive. You can see how he's averaging almost 14 points a game. And Washington Lee really doing a great job of getting out in transition here early.
Take there by Tyler Stenglin.
Hey, little Euro step. He's heating up.
Back-to-back buckets by Brueggemann, both getting in the paint and finishing. That's a good sign for Coach McHugh. 2 more substitutions for Nazareth is Chris Jones checks out, and so does Daniel Jacob. Brandon Wind, Isaac Nelson has checked in the game for Nazareth. Gable attacks the basket, can't finish. Ball's loose on the ground, body's on the ground, and there's another jump ball. Possession arrow to Washington and Lee. And
a great job there by Crawford to just wall up, go straight up and down and not foul, and really did a great job contesting that shot, making it a tough 2.
Coach Broderick could call his second timeout. This one's a full, and with 15:39 left in the first half, Washington leads out to a strong start with a 6-point lead, 11-5. Dan, what's your take so far here in the first 4 minutes?
Yeah, I think they're doing a great job defensively, contesting shots around the rim, and then utilizing their stops to be able to get out and run in transition. They've been very aggressive. Obviously, Brueggemann has attacked the rim and sliced the defense and got a couple easy baskets. And in the half court, it looks like they're going to try to use their size, but I think it's come out of transition right now.
Actually, that's and the three-pointer there by number 34, Roy McMillan, the team's leading scorer for Washington Lee. He's got 4 here early on.
And
Washington Lee gets into a 2-2-1.
Yeah, I think they want to continue to speed up this Nazareth team, and so they can get out and run.
8 on the clock. A turnover by Nazareth.
Really, really good half-court man-to-man defense there by Washington and Lee.
McMillan's pull-up jumper's good. He's heating up. He's got 6 now.
That looks sweet right there by the big fella.
McMillan averaging 17. The three-pointer there.
But it just keeps going out. But I don't know if it's somebody touching it or it just keeps going out. Apologies for the technical difficulties with the sound. We're trying to get it worked out here. Keep losing power.
Washington and Lee back into the 2-2-1, and they fall into a 2-3 zone here. Nazareth down 9. They go to a 1-3-1 set. Deep 3 there, no good by Cody Green.
And I love the call by Coach McHugh to just switch up the defense and keep Nazareth on their toes here, mixing things up.
Three there by Mitchell, no good, but McMillan with the offensive rebound, but they turn it over.
Mitchell only a 23% three-point shooter on the year. Doesn't take a ton of them.
Tevin Panchel checks out for Washington and Lee. Trey Lewis is in the game for the first time for Washington and Lee. And a nice up fake by Jake Bergio, who showed very good patience there from the high post.
Yeah, great job by the Golden Flyers to throw the ball into the high post against the 2-3 zone. Faced up, got Mitchell to commit on a little shot fake and hit a nice little floater with the right hand.
Nice baseline out of bounds play, but Mark Lamondola can't finish on the layup. Cody Green steps out of bounds. Brendan Broderick is in the game for Nazareth from McQuaid Jesuit High School. Probably played with Anthony Iglesias.
Potentially so. Yeah, Anthony's one of our post-grad players here at DME Academy.
Cody Green up fakes, quick trigger three, no good. Rebound Tyler Stanglin. He finds Bergio. Bergio can't finish. Rebound to Mitchell. Grayson McMillan goes inside to Kearns. Kearns spins out, finds Mitchell for three, and he connects.
There it is, big fella.
He said, stick that to Dan Mondragon.
He heard me. He heard me talking about the percentage. And the big fella's shown a great skill set, has scored inside, has scored outside, has thrown a really, really nice pass. Really a complete player for the Generals.
Bergio, guarded by Mark Crofin. Good spin move, finish right there by Jake Bergio, the team's go-to scorer here for Nazareth, and he's got 4 here in the recent moments.
Beautiful move, and they're going to need a lot from him against this very good defensive Washington Lee team.
And Kevin Denon, who just checked in the game, he's averaging 8 points a game for Washington Lee. The southpaw drills a 3. And the lead is back in double figures at 23-12. Stenglin, 3, no good. Kearns will bring it up the floor. Stefan Brueggemann will dribble handoff with Trey Lewis. Denon tries another one, no good. Rebound to Crawford. Good find to Stenglin, or to Denon. Denon's got 5 here.
Love the pass. Love the pass there by the big fella. Both guys very skilled.
The 10-second call is that 2-2-1 is giving Nazareth a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, I think the Generals got to continue to pressure, speed them up in order for them to be successful here today. But a great start to this game so far for the Generals. Doing it in a variety of ways, running their offense, transition, inside, outside.
Kearns gets into the paint, stops, tries to kiss one off the glass, can't do it. And he gets tied up with Kevin Underwood. Possession arrow goes back to Nazareth. Washington Lee stays in that 2-2-1. They turn it over. McMillan with the left hand off the wrong foot is good.
Nice move there by McMillan. From that press continues to disrupt the Golden Flyers.
10:02 left. Washington and Lee 27, Nazareth 12. As that 2-2-1 and offensively just in general, seems like Nazareth is struggling to get into a rhythm here in this opening game.
Yeah, they've got to make an adjustment here, and they have to effectively get the ball past the press and then attack the press, not fall back, because this Generals team is really good defensively, as they've shown, both in man-to-man, and they keep mixing it up. So they're throwing punches at the Golden Flyers here, trying to keep them on their toes, and hopefully Coach Broderick is drawing something up to get through that press, and really attack. You know, the goal should be, if a team's going to press you, you want to attack them because if you beat the press, you're going to have an advantage. So they've got to make Washington Lee pay for pressing them. They got to take care of that basketball.
Both teams are actually pretty good at taking care of the basketball. Nazareth only turns the ball over 12 times a game, and Washington Lee only turns it over 15 times. So not a bad, I mean, not great numbers, but not bad numbers.
Yeah.
Nazareth gets past the press, and then passed by Zach Stenglin to Kevin Underwood, was deflected out of bounds, and the ball will stay here with Nazareth with 23 on the shot clock. Brandon Wynn plays side pick and roll with Bergio. Hesitates. Pull up jumpers, good. Brandon Wynn with the much needed bucket there for Nazareth.
Nice pull up over the big guy.
McMillan turns it over, trying to get it to Kearns.
I think he thought he was passing to someone else. Kearns didn't make a play on the ball. He thought there was somebody maybe back cutting or something.
Washington Lee gets back into the 2-2-1. Wynn finds Underwood. Underwood gets to the cup, and he finishes.
It's a tough basket by Underwood. Great job attacking the body of the defender.
Kearns finds Mitchell. Mitchell in the other corner, no good. And a loose ball foul is called on Stephen Gable.
I don't love the shot. I think Mitchell's got to establish himself inside. Nazareth, much smaller team than Washington and Lee, and I think they need to use his skill set to get him the ball in the post and the paint, just like that.
Nice find by Kearns off the pick and roll to Mitchell, and another bucket there for Washington and Lee. Travel on Kevin Underwood. The turnovers are piling up here in the first half here for Coach Broderick's team. Isaac Nelson checks into the game. McMillan finds Mitchell. Brueggemann snakes through the defense and finishes with the left hand. He's got 3 impressive finishes here.
This guy can play. Love his game. Love the first step. Tough finish with the left hand.
Wind gets in the paint. Nice find to Stenglin, but he turns it over. Another turnover by Nazareth. Brueggemann, pull up 3 in transition, no good.
He checked there by Brueggemann.
And a loose ball foul there called on Kevin Denon. His first, team's third. And he didn't like the call, but it's a pretty obvious one there. Cody Green checks back into the game for Nazareth. Stenglin finds Green, who up fakes, gets into the paint. Pull up jumper over the long Curtis Mitchell. And a nice bucket there by Cody Green. Crawford, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right.
Looks like Crawford.
Crawford's pass there deflected out of bounds. If I'm saying his name wrong, my apologies. Tevin Panchel was checked back in for Washington and Lee. Mitchell plays pick and roll with Panchel. Panchel's 3 short. Rebound to Nelson. Nelson, no one picks him up in transition. Pull up jumper's no good. Rebound Crawford. The other way to Bregman, he travels.
William Lee here with a big lineup with Mitchell and Crawford out there on the floor. Both very skilled bigs, and they can really impose their will here
Green steps out of bounds. That's the second time I think he's done that.
I'm wondering if the NBA line on the court is throwing those guys off over there in that corner, because that's the second time they've stepped out of bounds right in front of the William Lee bench. Unforced errors piling up for the Golden Flyers.
Number 12, Alex Starr is checked into the game for Washington and Lee. Coach McHugh's used his bench. He's got a deep bench that he uses. A nice rotation. McMillan's left hand, no good. A nice bucket there by Stephen Gable. Chris Jones is checked into the game for Nazareth as well. Stengling. A lot of contact there, but no call, and the ball will go back to Washington Lee. And Coach McHugh will call a timeout here. A full.
Yeah, Coach McHugh is, as you mentioned, deep bench. They've been able to maintain a high level of energy, not just in the half-court defense, but able to get out and transition and run here.
.6:18 left, 31-20. Washington and Lee has been in total control of this game so far here in the first half.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Brueggemann's play. The sophomore out of Houston, Texas, has done a great job getting to the rim. Has played with a high level of confidence for only being a sophomore. And the big fellas as well. Both Mitchell and McCroft have done a great job. Very skilled bigs out on the perimeter, making the right plays, making passes, knocking down shots and getting in the paint and doing it at all three levels.
Winner of this game will take on the winner of the Brockport versus
Gallaudet,
which will be tipped off 20 minutes after this game, scheduled for 2 p.m. Panchel getting pressured by Isaac Nelson. They'll find McMillan and he'll turn it over.
It's the second time they've ran that little slip, pick and pop to that ball side corner. The pass just off the mark there and results in the turnover, but a nice little set that they're running to try to get their forwards a three-point shot in the wing.
Nazareth's done a much better job here of late handling the 2-2-1. And a nice pull-up jumper there by Tyler Stengling. And he's the second leading scorer on this team for...
Mike, I know you're a big fan of the mid-range pull-up, and the Golden Flyers, I think, have hit 3 in a row in the mid-range area.
Panchel's 3 is good. Nice bucket there by Tevin Panchel.
And a very solid defensive effort by the Golden Flyers there, and unfortunately, he hits the 3 right there with about 8 seconds left on the shot clock, but great defense for the Golden Flyers.
Wind skips it out. A 3 there, no good by Stengling. Denon finds Panchel. Coughlin attacks the basket. He'll get called for an offensive foul there. That was a nice charge there taken by Chris Jones.
Yeah, way to sacrifice his body late on the line with McCroft coming at him. Full head of steam, took it right in the chest, and a good call by the referee.
Stengling gets in the paint. Ball finds Brandon Wind. He'll cross over, spin move, get into trouble and kick it out. Good defense here by Washington and Lee. Bergio finds Wynn, three-pointer, left wing, no. Rebound Brueggemann. He'll find Kearns. He'll go back to Brueggemann. He'll spin. Mitchell. Good patience here by Washington and Lee. Fall away jumper by Alex Starr.
Yeah, that was nice. One-legged Dirk Diggler right there, fading away in that short corner area. Nice shot.
Lead back up to 14 here. Closing in on the last 4 minutes of the first half. Bergio. Step through. Shots blocked by Mitchell. Good defense there in the interior by the big fella. Kearns takes contact, can't get the call or can't get the shot to fall, but he'll go to line and he'll shoot two.
Great job attacking the rim there. I love what Coach McHugh is doing. They keep mixing it up defensively. They just keep throwing different punches at you, and the Golden Flyers aren't able to get in a rhythm offensively.
Kearns, a very big cog in the wheel for this team. 16 points a game, 5 assists a game, and he's averaging 2 steals. So Devin Kearns is a big piece to Coach McHugh's success here so far, and you know, their floor general.
Yep, the big three of McMillan, Kearns, and Brueggemann have definitely had an impact, all three, on this game.
Cody Green hits his second bucket of the game. He's got 5, his first triple. And Nazareth still hanging in there, just down 12. Mitchell's three way off. Rebound corralled by Kearns. The travel called on Denon. Mark Lamandola checks back in. And Washington Lee's back with their starting 5. Broderick finds Bergio. Green thought about a 3. 10 on the clock. Chris Jones goes back to Stenglin. 3, no good. Rebound corralled by Lamandola. He'll look to push. He'll pull it out. He'll go to Kearns. Kearns tries to finish, can't. Green thought about a 3, goes inside to Chris Jones. Nice jump hook there by Chris Jones. He's given Coach Broderick some good minutes off the bench with the charge, and now a nice jump hook in the paint. The lead's down to 10.
Absolutely, and that's what they got to do. They got to attack that zone. They got to get some post touches and get to the rim, because Washington Lee, they're doing a great job in that zone of letting that high post player go one-on-one against Mitchell and McCroft, and they move their feet very well for their size, and they're contesting a lot of those three-pointers effectively.
You know, just a little thing I'm noticing about this Nazareth College team is obviously they got the brothers Tyler Stenglin and Zach Stenglin, but it seems like Coach Broderick has his son on the team, Brendan Broderick. So a lot of family connections here on this Nazareth roster, as they're all from New York, and a good portion of these guys are from the Rochester area. So yeah, they're gonna fight together, and they're gonna compete, and they're hanging in the game here. And they've taken a few haymakers by Washington Lee early on, and they're still here. You know, they finished this half strong. You know, they got to be feeling pretty good about themselves.
Yep. Important these last 2 minutes for them to get a couple stops and get a couple good shots to go into the half. At less than 10, they got a chance to make a push here.
Mitchell thought about another 3. They go to Kearns. Kearns pull-up jumper, no good. Mitchell tried to keep it alive, knocked it out of bounds. Possession goes to Nazareth, looking to make this a single-digit ball game. Washington Lee goes man. Bergio. Goes to Stenglin. Pull-up jumper. He gets hit. He'll go to the line.
Man, I thought that was such good defense by the Generals, man. They do a great job communicating, switching screens, moving their feet. And I don't know that there was, maybe he got him on the arm on the way up, but I thought it was a great contest, hands high, staying between, the fundamental principle, just stay between your man and the basket. I think they do a great job of that. But Nazareth gets to get to the free throw line here to cut into this lead.
Stenglin makes both. 37-29 here. Broderick playing pretty good pressure defense here on Kearns. Kearns, nice find to Brueggemann. He can't finish. Ball gets deflected out of bounds. Nice play there by Cody Green.
And here come the Golden Flyers. The bench is into it. A minute 30 to go. They got a chance to make a run here.
Broderick finds Green, and they're called for a legal screen there. Coach Broderick didn't like it. I thought it was a pretty good call.
Yeah, big call there. Definitely some contact and moving on that screen.
Kevin Denon and Mark Crofin will check back in. Kearns, guarded by Broderick. We get to the baseline. Good defense there by Nazareth. McMillan, beautiful find to Crofin, and a much-needed bucket there for Washington and Lee. Minute left in the first half, 39-29. Looks like the same play from earlier. Stenglin, two-man game with Bergio. McMillan guarding him, shoots the pull-up jumper, and it's good.
Great hesitation there, creating space, get into that pull-up.
Bergio's got 6, and a push-off by Kearns.
Good call there. See that the pressure defense now looks like the Golden Flyers on the attack mode and really speeding up. These Generals force some turnovers, some quick shots.
And Coach Broderick's son has been very good. Brendan's been very good on the ball here, disrupting Washington and Lee a little bit. And that's a good call by the ref because there was a few people that deflected that ball. And there's Bill Van Gundy showing some good hustle there. 1 second differential on the game clock, shot clock. Nazareth trying to make this a 2-possession game here before the half. Wind. Plays with Chris Jones. Pull up. Nope. Finds Green. Spins. Wins 3, no good. Good defensive possession by Washington and Lee. The refs will put a little time back on the clock. Refs has let this game go. It's been a physical game. Neither team's been in the 1-1 yet. So,
yeah, definitely letting them play, letting them compete, and both teams, not a lot of pouting, not a lot of complaining about any calls. They're just out there working. They move on, next play mentality. Really, really impressed with both teams.
And that's your half. 39-31, Washington and Lee on top of Nazareth here in the first semifinal matchup here in Daytona Beach at DME Sports Academy here in the second annual Mauro Panaggio Invitational.
And a fun half. Both teams really impressed with the coaching, the discipline, the way these guys are competing. They definitely are ready to go here from the start. And it looks like it could end up being a great second half for both of these teams.
Got a 15-minute intermission here. We'll have some statistics for you here shortly. Sorry about us, especially me, being off to a little slow start here, getting familiar with each player's names, and obviously both teams use their benches very well, so there's a lot of guys that I'm not too familiar with it. I'm trying to get their names and memorize them as we're going, so sorry for being a little shaky here in the first half. I'll get better as the tournament goes on. First half stats for Washington and Lee. Tevin Panchel has 3. William Brueggemann has 6. Alex Starr has 2. Devin Kearns has 3. Kevin Denon has 5. Mark Crawford has 2. Roy McMillan has 3, 6, 8, 9, 11. And Curtis Mitchell has 7. On the other end, for Nazareth, Cody Green has 5. Jake Bergio has 6. Isaac Nelson has 2. Chris Jones has 4. Daniel Jacob has 2. Tyler Stenglin has 6. Kevin Underwood has 2. And Brandon Wynn has 2. So
Pretty balanced scoring for both teams in that first half.
the inside play for Washington Lee has been the difference so far, and the 2-2-1 pressure was also something that helped Washington Lee get off to a hot start.
Yeah, I think those bigs have had a big impact on the game. Mark Crawford, as well as Curtis. Lot to deal with for the small Nazareth team, but they battled and came back, cut it to 8 going into the half. And they've done a great job of really turning up the intensity in the last few minutes of the first half. If I'm Coach Broderick, got to continue to pressure the basketball, got to continue to stay in attack mode, because this William and Washington and Lee team, just a lot of firepower, a lot of size, inside guards that can make plays. So they've got to continue to attack them, and get themselves to the free throw line, get themselves some good shots, and hopefully cut into this lead and make a push.
Roy McMillan's the game-high leading scorer right now with 11 points. McMillan averages 17 points and 9 rebounds on the season. So, pretty good start for Coach McHugh. And Coach Broderick's made some nice adjustments and got his team, courtesy of his son's pressure on the ball, to get back into the ball game. So, got just over 10 minutes left before the second half. We'll be back here in a little bit. And thank you for tuning in and watching from home. We'll be back in about 7 or 8 minutes. Thanks. And we're back here in Daytona Beach in the first semifinal matchup between Nazareth College and Washington and Lee in the Mauro Panaggio second annual Invitational. It's been a up and down first half. Washington Lee really trying to push the pace and pressure Nazareth, and they've done a pretty good job of that, getting off to an 8-point lead here in the first half. Both teams start with the same starting five, and Washington and Lee will have the ball to start the second half. And a three by Roy McMillan, who's the game-high leading scorer in the first half. He had 11, he's now got 14, and the lead back into double digits. Three by Bergio, no good. Rebound McMillan. He'll try another three, and it's good.
What a start for McMillan. Great two-man game the first possession, and then a long transition three right in the face of the defender. Great start.
17 for McMillan. Right on his average with a whole half to play. Wind finds Stenglin. Stenglin spins, pivots, finds Bergio. Brueggemann guarding him, he'll spin. Finds Stenglin. 15-footer by Bergio, no good.
Absolute textbook defense, but they can't come up with the rebound, and Nazareth capitalizes there.
Nice floater there by Daniel Jacob. He's got 4 now. Mitchell can't finish the first attempt or the second attempt. Rebound to Bergio. He'll get it into Stenglin.
Got to finish that one. Great pass by Kearns ahead to the big, and fortunately not able to finish.
Wind shots blocked by Mitchell. Good defense there by the big fella. And Devin Kearns with a nice take there. And a quick 30-second timeout by Coach Broderick, as he's not happy with the defensive intensity here in the first 2 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, I love the way that the Generals have come out. 2 of their leading scorers already in less than 2 minutes of play have put a staple that they're here, and they better get after them, because they're going to put their staple on this game.
Coach Broderick's quickly going to his son, Brendan Broderick, here to try to change the pace defensively and to try to be a little more disruptive. Did a very good job in the later part of the first half of really getting after it defensively on Kearns and making his life difficult.
Yeah, and they got to switch something up here. This Washington and Lee team, very, very good defensively. Nazareth has not been able to get anything easy in the half court, so they've got to make sure they're executing, but they've got to find a way to get good quality shots.
Bergio being guarded by McMillan. Stenglin gets a screen from Chris Jones. He'll go inside to Jones. His jump hook is no good. He'll rip it away from Mitchell, and he'll draw a foul on Lamondola. That's a good hustle there by Chris Jones. He's a blue-collar, undersized post player for Coach Broderick, who's done a very nice job here in the first half.
Yeah, he's played well. He's played well. He's brought some toughness, gotten a couple dirty baskets, and looks like he banged up his nose there on the collision. But I like what they did there. They got the switch on the pick and roll on the side, went inside. Unfortunately, the hook shot was just off the mark.
Jacob goes dribble handoff with Gable. Gable goes to Stenglin. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line.
That's what they got to do. North and south, get to the rim, get a couple free throws.
The foul is on Brueggemann. His first, team's second. And Stenglin will go to the line. where he's 2 for 2. Second one, no good by Stenglin. A loose ball foul called on Nazareth. On Gable, his first, team's first. Kearns finds Mitchell. Go back dribble handoff with good hesitation. Can't finish with the left hand. Mitchell draws the foul on Bergio, and he'll go to the line for 2. Nice two-man game there by Kearns and Mitchell.
And Bergio just left handle both defense and makes the block, tries to recover, and Curtis gets him with the up fake and draws the foul on Bergio. And again, the size of Washington and Lee continues to be an issue for the Golden Flyers.
Second one's good by Mitchell, and Alex Starr checks into the game for Roy McMillan. Bergio check out, and number 45 will check in for the first time today. John Werner, the 6'6" sophomore. Stenglin, pull-up jumper, no good.
Not a great possession for Nazareth. A lot of dribbling around the perimeter. No one really attacking downhill. If you're going to have a chance against this Washington and Lee defense, you've got to attack them downhill because they're so fundamentally sound defensively that they will help, and then you can get something outside. But dribbling around the perimeter is not going to get it done for Nazareth. They've got to get inside somehow.
Another timeout there by Coach Broderick as he felt the game was getting a little away from him here. This is the biggest lead of the game of 16 points for Washington and Lee. 50-34 here, 16:47 left.
A pivotal moment here for both teams. If you're Washington and Lee, this is where you want to go up 20 and put them away. If you're Nazareth, you're trying to stop the bleeding with the timeout, make the adjustment, and hope that your guys come out and are able to attack and get some easy shots, get some baskets, and most importantly, get some stops on the defensive end.
So far, Washington and Lee has led this game from start to finish. There's been 0 times this game's been tied. There's been 0 lead changes.
And it's felt that way. It's felt like the Golden Flyers have just kind of been hanging on, having to work extremely hard for every basket. They made that push there late in the first half, but it's been all generals here today.
Go to a little dribble weave here. Gable gets in the paint, draws the foul. Did a pretty good job of getting downhill there and drawing the foul. This one's on Alex Starr. His first, team's third. And Gable's at the line. He makes the first. Zach Stenglin checks in the game for Brendan Broderick.
You wonder how long Coach Broderick is going to keep Bergio out of the game here. Bergio averages 20. Stenglin averages 16, and both under 10 points here today. They've got to get more production from those two guys if they're going to have a chance to win this game.
Brueggemann, three-pointers.
That's
good.
tough. That is a tough shot by Brueggemann there. And the three-headed monster of Washington and Lee, Kearns, Brueggemann, and McMillan have had their way here today against the Golden Flyers.
Stenglin finds Underwood, but he can't finish. Kearns gets in the paint, pull-up jumpers, no good. Good defense there by by Underwood. Stengler. Up fakes. No good by Gable. Rebound corralled by Brueggemann. Takes contact, draws a foul, but ball will go and be a side out of bounds as Tevin Panchel and Roy McMillan will check back into the game for Devin Kearns and William Brueggemann with an 18-point lead here. They go to the flex. Panchel, three, good. His second triple of the game. He just checks in and bangs into the jumper, and that's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, and this Generals team just so balanced. Every guy playing their role. Every guy really in a good rhythm. No one really struggling. And another stop defensively.
Panchel finds Alex Starr. He'll shoot a little fall away, and he'll hit. He's got 2 fall aways today.
Not much you can do against that shot right there. Great job creating space with the lean.
Stenglin, three-pointer, no good. Rebound Panchel. Going to McMillan.
Oh,
Three by Mark Coughlin's no good. Loose ball foul called as McMillan tries to get the board. The foul will be on Tyler Stenglin. Coach Broderick is going to make 4 substitutions here with Wind, Bergio, Nelson. And one more.
my goodness. My goodness, McMillan with the jam on 2 defenders. Pump fake from the corner, drives it baseline and hammers it home. And the crowd got into that one. What a play by McMillan.
McMillan's most impressive 2 points of his 19 so far.
That's a top 10 play there. I love that one.
It leads up to 25.
Great defensive play by Bergio there to block that shot.
Wind. The defense is just very good.
This was, yeah, they're impressive. It is as good as you can do, switching screens, communicating, the walling up. Every shot is contested, putting your body between the man and the basket, and it goes a long way. Nazareth has had to work extremely hard for every single shot on the offensive end. Really, really impressed with Coach McHugh's ball club today.
Nazareth's really struggled to get penetration today. McMillan tries to go inside of Mitchell. 12 on the clock. Wingard and McMillan. We'll go inside to McMillan. He'll face up, shoot the 15-footer.
He's feeling it.
He's got it going.
The kid can play.
10 in the
kid
second half.
can play. No wonder he's averaging almost a double-double with 17 a game.
Coach Broderick's used a lot of timeouts here. He's been trying to hold on for dear life, but the doors have been blown open here in Daytona.
Yeah, it was a matter of time before the Generals blew it open, as we said. Just a hard team to stop. If you're Brockport and Gallaudet here, you're watching this game, scouting for tomorrow, hoping you get a win today. And you got to be thinking in the back of your mind, man, if we get the win today, this is going to be a tough opponent because they're well coached. They play together. They got different guys at different weapons that can all make shots and make plays. Really impressive performance here by the Generals.
62-35 with 12:40 left in the second half. And we have a huge deficit for Nazareth here. And if you're Coach Broderick, what are you telling your team?
I got to try to finish strong. Again, 12, almost out of reach, but you gotta try to make a push here and finish strong. Again, I think Jake and Bergio and Stingland, they haven't been effective against this Generals defense. For them to have a chance, they had to show up. They had to come here and put some points on the board because really 2 leading scorers and the next best is not close. So those guys were the go-to players, and if they're going to make a run here in the last 13 minutes, they've got to really, really get going and get some stops. But regardless, you want to finish this strong and not quit. It's hard. The bench looks a little bit defeated, but you got to keep fighting and try to get some stops and some shots on the other end.
Turnover there by Washington Lee, and that's only their first turnover of the second half. And Nazareth has only scored 4 points here in the second half. It helps having
Good
him
start.
back in the game with Chris Jones, who has a bloody nose, but he's been a huge piece to this team today. As him coming out of the game really was actually, when you think about it, a big turning point in the game. He's been very good.
Yeah, he's picked up the load. No question, he's picked up the load, scoring it a little bit, but getting down and dirty in the paint. There he is again.
Good pass by McMillan to Trey Lewis. He can't corral it though, and Pancho shoot a deep 3, and Chris Jones picks up a foul trying to keep the big fella Mitchell off the glass. And foul on Jones, and here comes Cody Green. 39-31 at half, and 8 minutes into the game. It's been all Washington Lee on a 26-6 run here to start the second half.
And Coach McHugh substituting 2 of his big 3 at a time here late in this game, and that could very much play a factor. And tomorrow, these guys will probably be able to play a few minutes less than they usually do, and might have some fresher legs for tomorrow's championship game. We'll see what happens with the Brockport-Gallaudet game. But right now, Coach McHugh is going to be able. It looks like he's going to be able to rest some of those guys for tomorrow a little bit.
Jones will check out. He's got 4 personals now, and John Werner, the young big 6'6" sophomore, will check back into the game. Stingland. Nice take there by Tyler Stingland. He'll draw the foul. The game's definitely not over yet, but they're
not over.
have to chip away at it. Stingland's his 3-point play opportunity is no good. Turns the other way. They'll find Brueggemann. Get it right back, hesitate, get to the cup and finish.
Great play, so poised, great change of pace. He's been tough to guard for the Golden Flyers.
Stingland's 3's no good. Denon with the rebound. He'll throw it ahead to Trey Lewis. Lewis hesitates. Brueggemann. Go back to Denon, who's not shy.
step
And I see
back.
why. He's got 8, and he's 3 for 4 today with 2 triples. Wind, pull-up jumper, no good. Trey Lewis gets called for a silly foul.
Good job by Stingland selling that there, the little hook. Made sure to let the referees know what was happening, showed them, and got the foul, and we'll get the ball back. But this, I mean, we keep saying that this Generals team so well balanced, so much firepower. You got your third, fourth scoring option hitting step back threes. They've really got it going on today. They've been hard to stop.
Wind finds Cody Green. Go back to Wind. Stingland, 3-pointer, no good. Denon off to the races. He'll finish. He's now in double figures.
What a pass by Kern to thread the needle, three-quarter of the way, just zip-lined it, and a great finish. Great finish.
70-39 here. A very impressive start to the tournament for Washington and Lee.
Yeah, haven't seen Brock Porter or Gallaudet yet, but can't wait to watch these guys play again tomorrow, and whoever they face up against is going to have their hands full trying to guard them and trying to score on them, because they've been great on both ends. Looking to win the second annual Mauro Panaggio Invitational. Last year's winner was Worcester out of Ohio.
Kearns fall away, no good, but he'll get a steal, and let's see what I think he's going to give us a little two-hand slam.
And his teammates are fired up. Good play.
Broderick for 3, no good. Kearns draws a foul, he'll go to the line. 1-1, both teams are in the 1-1 from here on out. In the first half, no one got in the bonus, so this could be a long second half here if the refs are gonna keep blowing that whistle.
It's great for us to have some of our high school and post-grad players from DME Academy here watching this, and hopefully they're not just watching the shots and the dunks and stuff. Hopefully they're watching this Washington and Lee team and their defensive presence, their discipline. Because I know myself, we try to do a lot of the things that these guys are doing, switching on the perimeter, communicating, and they've put on an absolute clinic on how to play half-court man-to-man defense.
Green, good defense here by Washington Lee. Pull-up jumper, no good.
Everything's tough. And they're on.
Daniel Jacob. Alex Starr with the dump off to McMillan. He'll two-hand slam it.
Showtime, baby. Showtime. The Generals are going right now.
He's got 23 now. And I know he's thinking about continuing to, as Cody Green hits a deep three.
Hit that from the first row here by Coach Van Gundy.
McMillan, no good. Broderick finds Green. He'll get in the paint this time. Pull-up jumper's good. He's got 10. He's been a bright spot for Nazareth today off the bench.
He has, and you can tell the Generals have put an emphasis on him and his shooting ability, trying to run him off the line as much as possible.
Broderick finds Green. Green three, no good. McMillan might be done for the day. Got a few more up, 23 points.
Yeah, what a performance by McMillan here in the first game. Done it in multiple ways, hitting 3 balls, dunking, getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line. He's got a thorough arsenal of offensive weapons, as does this Generals team.
Looking forward to the second matchup here between Gallaudet and Brockport State.
Yeah, it should be a good one. Brockport State, the
Also
original home of Coach Mauro Panaggio, where he coached for many, many years, where your father and uncle played. And I spoke to Coach Dunn here earlier this game, and he's excited about his team. Unfortunately, they suffered a injury to his starting point guard, but he feels he's got good kids. He's going to let some freshmen play and see if they can step up. And so it should be a fun one.
Brockport had a really good team last year. Actually, assistant coach Ahmed Shamshadeldin was their
Had a heck of a tournament.
and Abdoulaye Sow. Both of those guys were on the team last year. Both are assistant coaches this year, and
Keeping it in the family.
Yep. Brueggemann, he's in double figures.
I mean, that's not an easy shot right there. That is a high-level finish. Putting a little English off the glass by Brueggemann.
Jacob goes into the young fella, number 44.
Nice move.
The freshman, Jonathan Park, with a nice left-hand finish there. That wasn't the prettiest bucket, and it didn't count, but he worked hard there. Matt Muncy. The turnover there by Washington and Lee.
Gallaudet University from Washington, D.C. will come in and will have their hands full with Brockport. They come in with a 1-8 record. They are the National University for Deaf and Hard of Hearing. And I myself actually played them in college at a tournament in Washington, D.C. And it's really an impressive thing to see them, how connected they are as a team and the way they communicate with one another. And it should be a fun matchup between them and Brockport.
Jonathan Park has 4 points now off the bench. And a steal there by Daniel Jacob. He'll draw the foul and he'll go to the line. So they're still fighting, still competing, still trying to make this respectable. No, Coach Broderick isn't too happy with their play today, but part of it is Nazareth, part of it is Coach McHugh. And the fine job they've done offensively and defensively, and the play of their star power compared to Nazareth, where Jake Bergio's been in foul trouble all day.
Yeah, that was a big key. The big three for the Generals had an outstanding performance. And Bergio and Stingland, unfortunately, could not get it going early enough to keep this thing from slipping away.
Looking forward to the other game. I'm looking at this roster of Brockport, and I see Dwayne Daniel, who's very good last year in this tournament. Xavier Merriweather is back. with an increased role. Remember him as a freshman last year.
Yep.
Tyler Collins is back. That was one of our favorite guys last year, the flashy.
Yep, he was very good. They were a fun. Oh yeah, they were a fun team to watch. Tyler was impressive playmaking. You know, had some swagger to his game for sure. But they were an athletic team. They were fun to watch. They were big and tall and ran the floor and played high level of intensity.
And the other guy that I'm looking at is Justin Summers, the 6'5", mismatch nightmare for Coach Dunn from Brooklyn, New York, who's also a key contributor and a big piece of that team last year. Matt Muncy makes 2 free throws, and this leads down to 25 with 5 minutes left, and Coach McHugh calls a timeout. So I'm not sure who Coach Dunn said is hurt. Hopefully it's not Collins. We enjoyed watching Collins.
Yeah, he didn't tell me the name. He said our best guard. It might be Collins. It might be Collins because he was very, very impressive last year.
And he also has another player out with a torn labrum. Do not know who that was. He's got Josh Nelson too. Josh Nelson was very good in that first game in the semifinals. He shot the ball really well last year, and then it was a little more quiet against Worcester in the championship game. But he's got still a lot of talent that came back for Coach Dunn, and obviously he had a lot of firepower offensively last year. Graduated David Clark, graduated Sham Sheldon, who was his best guard last year, and good player in Abdoulaye Sow as well. So he's lost some guys, but he's still got a good amount of talent. I'm excited to see what this year's team looks like.
Yeah, and in the large scheme of things, obviously, if you're Nazareth, you don't like the result or the way the game panned out. But in the grand scheme of things, good opportunity for guys to get some minutes that maybe wouldn't have if it was a close game. You know, when you take these early trips as a team, a lot of it is team bonding, team building, you know, building those relationships that are going to kind of strengthen your core and your chemistry down the line when you go into conference play. So, you know, I know they don't like the result, but for both teams, it can be a positive that these guys get some minutes, get to play. You have your other guys cheering for those younger players and guys that don't get to play as much. So, good opportunity here for both teams.
Nice take there by Underwood. And he'll go to the line, try to convert on the three-point play here. It's been tough sledding here. You know, you look at the statistics of these two teams, very similar. Both shoot 41% from the field, 41-42, I should say, and then 34 and 33 from three-point and 71 from the free throw line.
Nice left-hand finish.
And then defensively, both teams give up 76 points a game. So Nazareth, who usually scores 78 points a game, is 22 under their average. So,
and that had everything to do with the Generals' defense, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Another take there by Underwood. He's got 5 straight for Nazareth. And number 10, Austin Lee will check, or who's in the game, draws the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line for 2 free throws. He makes the first. got a hard name to say in this next one for Gallaudet.
Steve Valencia Viskupiak.
Both are good. Cody Green, pass deflected. .21 on the shot clock. It's great to get Coach Bill Van Gundy in the building to watch the action. Obviously, Coach Broderick's been teed up. So that was a quick tee. Not sure what was said. Just probably some frustration from his team coming this way and not having a very good showing in the semifinals. But back to obviously Pancho makes one or two. Coach Van Gundy's been a big family friend of ours, all the way back to our days up in Rochester, and his sons Bill and Stan.
And he took over the job
Stan and Jeff
at Brockport after your grandfather, correct?
Yes, and his son Jeff took over McQuaid right after my dad left McQuaid. So it's very interesting how the paths turned out, and obviously Jeff and Stan have had great careers, both taking NBA franchises to the NBA Finals as head coaches. And obviously Jeff's a lot better at this job than we are right here. So it's great to have him here. He was at my grandfather's funeral. So that was awesome to see Coach Van Gundy there, and now here watching basketball. He's a gym rat.
Yeah,
he's always at the Rollins games, and you'll probably see my cousin Benny play them this year at Florida Southern. So
that's good stuff.
And he's a Brockport guy, but he's been clapping and rooting for Nazareth today.
He has rooting for the
to
state of New York.
He's trying to find some things to cheer about. This one it's been a little rough, but
yeah, let's see how he gets fired up when the Brockport Eagles come out here and take on the Gallaudet University.
Pancho's creeping towards double figures today. He's been very good off the bench, shooting the ball. Coach Brendan Broderick finds Cody Green. He stumbles, falls, ball's loose, gets it out of there to Broderick. Ball gets to Underwood. He's been getting to the basket pretty well. Ball's deflected out of bounds, and it'll stay with Nazareth with 12 on the shot clock. And Alex Starr will check back into the game. He's probably got other than the dunks, probably the 4 flashiest points.
Yeah, the fadeaways, the one-legged jumpers.
Turnover and a steal by Pancho. He's off to the races.
Nice move.
And he finishes and one, and he is now for sure in double figures. With a nice finish off the glass, off the wrong foot, contorts his body, takes the contact, puts a little jelly on the finish.
Yeah, great stuff there. Great stuff. Control, have the body control, the balance, and to focus on that finish through the contact, off the wrong foot. Again, not an easy shot. This Generals squad is very, very talented, very deep. Guys coming off the bench and making big plays. And then obviously the big three showed why they're averaging what they're averaging, and really impacted the game early, specifically early in the second half. Really came out and put the Golden Flyers away early.
Stenglin's back to the line where he's been. Actually, this is the brother, Zach Stenglin. is at the line right now. And he makes 1 of 2. And a push in the back, and we got more free throws the other way. I wish they'd let this thing kind of roll.
Yeah.
Dan Gilliam is in the house today.
Wearing his Brockport green. All-time leader in assists at Brockport.
Really?
That's what your cousin Matt Panaggio told me today. He says he's the all-time leader in assists.
Did not know that.
And he'll let you know how good he was.
Oh, he definitely lets you know that.
He's not going to shy away from telling you about his glory days.
Cody Green with another, 3 from the parking lot, and he's been great. He's really the only guy that's really shot the ball well today for Nazareth. Step back is no good.
Nice pass. Great pass and a great finish.
Nice finish there by Gus Wise. He's getting some good action here today. As Underwood misses him. The board.
Ooh.
By Julian Parker, and a charge taken by Cody Green. You're taking charges down 24 with 1:38 left. You're a tough guy.
Love it. I'm all about that, and I was just going to say that. What a tough, gritty play by Cody Green to step in front. You know, you could easily pack it in, but this guy's doing the plays that a coach will applaud late in the game. Game is way out of reach, and he takes a shot to the face.
And Coach Van Gundy is giving him a nice.
Yeah, coaches love that
round
stuff.
Of applause there. That's deep.
He
You deserve it.
I wish he would have made it. And he's diving on gotta love that guy.
Foul here, and Muncie will go back to the line. He's 2 for 2. 6'3" sophomore from Fairport, New York. He makes his 3rd. You know, Cody Green and Brandon Broderick had positive plus minuses in the first half. It's a nice finish there by Austin Lee.
Great job by Lee there. And look
good
at him
D
walling
right
up, man. I love what this Generals team's all about.
Pancho finds Gus Wise. Gus Wise with his 2nd bucket here of late. He's had good production today. Jump hook, no good. Board by Parker.
I've got a coaching crush here on the Generals and the way they've done things. Team basketball, running their stuff, sharing the ball, pushing in transition, defensively so disciplined, so fundamentally sound, and just way too much for the Golden Flyers to handle.
10 seconds on the differential on the game clock, shot clock, and we're almost here ready for the 2nd game of this doubleheader, as Alex Starr wants to give us a little more razzle-dazzle.
That would have been a good one. That would have been a good one.
Can't finish, and now there's no shot clock. Possession will stay here, and there will be no more shots here. And your final score of this first game of the 2nd annual Mauro Panaggio Invitational will be Washington Lee defeating Nazareth College 94-68 here in Daytona Beach at DME Sports Academy. And final thoughts on this one, Dan?
Yeah, I think the Generals just too much firepower, too much size. They just put this team away early in the second half. Nazareth hung around for the first half, hung tough, but at the end of the day, the Generals came down and were ready to play, and you could tell. And the amount of firepower and how good they were defensively wore down the Golden Flyers, and they just had to work so hard for everything. And then on the other end, these guys did a great job sharing the ball. The big three did what they do and what they've been doing all season, and you see why they're so good.
Washington and Lee moves to 6-2 on the season, I believe. 6-3 on the season. And Nazareth moves to 4-3. And we got 20 minutes before the next matchup here. We'll be back shortly. Here from Daytona Beaches, it is Collins who is out. Collins is out as we see him over there. So we'll be back here shortly in a little bit for the second matchup of the semifinals here in Daytona Beach. Thanks for listening.